Hello again, everybody. Harold back with the 7th in our Power Query series on the ribbon. We'll continue with transform. We left off with parse. Start with statistics. I am by no means a math geek. I do appreciate math, and I'm pretty good at the stats. Some of this stuff I'll just have to walk through. Be as blind as me. Some of you math geeks might get it better. All right, statistic. Some, okay, that's an easy one. Some Some of that column is this big number here. Take that back off. Back to revenue, transform, stats. Going to show me the minimum. Will show me the minimum value in that column, which is 0. Max will show me the maximum. Take that off. Median should show me the median. Let's skip a couple of these. Transform, revenue. Average will show me the average. Standard deviation. Count values will show me the non-null values. That should be all of them. Count distinct values. Well, try that one here. We say count distinct values here. Should just get 7, which is our departments. So that's kind of neat. Let's move on to stats. Standard. Can add 5 to everything in the column. Okay. Added 5 to everything in the revenue column. Can multiply. Do 5 again. Okay, multiply everything in the revenue by 5. Divide, the same thing. Subtract, integer divide. Try 5 again. Okay. Gives you an integer. So that's no modulo, no remainder. Take that back off. Standard modulo. Well, let's say 5 on that. And we divide those all by 5. Those are the remainders. That's what modulo does. Percentage. Let's take off our modulo and our multiplication. Standard percentage. Standard percent. So take a percent of this value, or 25%. Gives us 25% of that column, items in that column. Or we could say percentage percent of. Enter a value to find each value in the selected column as a percentage of it. So let's say 10,000. Okay. 61%, 6139. Pretty cool. And that should be it for standard scientific. Absolute value. Those are all going to be, if they were negative, they would go to positive. Power, square, cube, or whatever you want. Let's just square them. Okay, those are the numbers squared, multiplied by themselves. I could cube them, multiply them by themselves 3 times, or whatever power I want it to. Scientific, take the square root of the number. There you go. Scientific exponent. Infinity. This is where I get to what I'm not sure is going on, but we'll keep doing them. Take off exponent. Logarithm. Base 10. We can get the exponent off. So that's the number in base 10. Also does natural. factorial, trigonometry. These I remember from 10th grade. Trigonometry, return a sine, and return a cosine, tangent, so on and so forth. You're into trigonometry, or your engineers might be using this stuff. I'm going to take those back off. Rounding, round up, 6140 in my first cell. Round down, it's not going to do it. Take my round up off. Round down, 6139. Round, specify how many decimal places, 1 digit on margin. Okay, drop the digit, take that off, go back up to 2. Information. Revenue information is even. True, false, true, false. So that tells you if it's even. Opposite, information is odd. Tells you if it's odd, true, even, false. Information sign. They're all positive. Signs can be 1, 0, 0, negative, negative 1. Take that off. Now, that is the number column group. The next group on the Power Query ribbon is date and time. I've got another cell table here with some flight info, purchase date of the ticket, date of the flight, departure time, and arrival time. I'm going to data from table range, load it up in Power Query. If you want to work with date and time, uh, Power Query is just hands-on, one of the best tools available. You could do all the stuff in Excel with functions, time and date functions, write the formulas. I know how to do it, but I do it in Power Query. It's just so much simpler. So we've got our check our type. We want these to be time. So we'll change them to time. Place current. And do the same here. And now everything is in date and time format. We'll do a little cleaning. We'll lead you go to the transform tab and show you how this stuff works. You want to do a date, got to be on a date column. Uh, let's say, well, this will give you the age of that date, how long it's been since then. So if we say date age, that was 19 days, 17 hours, 31 minutes, 30 point, so on seconds ago. So that's a great thing if you want to know the age of something or a person. You just use the age function under date. I'm going to take that back off. Next on date is date only. Well, that's got time in it. Take that off. It's just date. I'm going to keep that one for now. We'll do the same to flight date. So we're going to work with time in the other two columns. So date only. See, the next option is parse. If you get a date, it says like the date is 10/1/2023, T 40940, all in one cell. That is a DAC date. The language behind the Power Query, you parse that, it would turn it into two columns, one for date and one for time. Year, we can do just the year. Take that off. We could do first day of the year, which of course is January 1st. And we could do last date of year, which of course would be December 31st. You do month, so that will give me the month only. And give me 10 October. Take that back off. We can do month, start of the month. Of course, that's the first. End of month. Be the 31st. How many days are in the month? 31 in October. A month. Change it to name. Instead of the 10, it's October. All great stuff. Date. Say quarter. Well, what quarter of the year is it? Quarter four. Started on October 1st. Take that off. What was the first day of the quarter? As I said, October 1st. And what was the last day of the quarter? December 31st. Still good stuff. Week. Well, what week in the year is it? It was the 40th, 41st, 42nd, and 43rd and 44th weeks in the year when these tickets were purchased. Day, week, week of month. Well, that was the first week, that was the second week, third week, fourth week, and some months do have a fifth week, depending on the number of days. Date, week, first day of the week was the 1st, the 8th, 15th, 22nd, 29th. Same for end of week. We'll just skip that for now. Day. Oh, it's just a day. The 1st, the 3rd, the 7th, the 9th, 10th. Take that back off. Day. Day of week. Was it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? 0 would be Sunday. Date. Day. Day of year. 274th day of the year, and so on. Date. Day. Part of the day. Well, we don't have any time, so it doesn't really do anything. If we had two columns, one date and one time, we could combine them. Control, select flight date, departure time, date, combine date and time. Now we have the date and time in one column, merged. I'm going to take that back off. We could call it something else and keep it if we like. Date, earliest day in the column. Looks like I'm in. Was 1210 in that column. Then you can also do back on the first column, transform, date. Latest date in that column was the 31st of October. Still, it's good stuff. Transform, date. That is all for date. Let's move to a time column. Departure time. So now time is highlighted in our ribbon. Time only. We've already got time only. If I'd had that combined column, I could have done time only, and I'm going to take that back off. Unnecessary. Local time. I have my locale set. Going to change it to local time. It is local time. Parse again. If I had that DAX format with a T in the middle of the date and time, I could parse it. I could take just the hour 16, which is 4 o'clock. Correct. Time. I could take just a minute, the ninth minute, and I could take just a second. Let's just say 40. 40. It gives me the fractional too. I could round that or do whatever I wanted to from there. We'll take that back off. Showed you combined date time. Earliest again gives me the earliest time of the day, 10:52 in the morning, and latest would give me the latest time of the day. Back to time. Time. That is all. Duration is in the date and time column group, but I'm going to save that for add a column. It's much better when you can subtract days, add columns, and stuff like that. So we'll save that for a further video, and we can move on to structured columns. Really show you how to do structured columns right. Need to do a merge query. So I've got a couple tables here. I've already loaded them. We're going to go ahead, go to Power Query. We'll just go to a products query. We have category products queries available. Let's look at them real quick. Sure everything looks good. Okay. transform, home, merge queries, product ID. Let's start the other way. That's fine. With categories, left outer join, match our matching columns. Say OK. Now we've got a table. At this point, we can use structured column functions. If I want to expand, so now I can expand the categories, select the columns to expand. I don't want category ID in there quite, so say OK. OK. Now I know orange juice is a beverage, soup is the food, and flapjack is cakes and pastries. I've merged the tables and use my expand to expand the table to just show the information in the column I want. And take that back off. Aggregate. Summarize values from a nested data structure. So this is the stats kind of thing. Let's just see what happens here. Sum of category ID, count of category. Well, let's just see how many. Sum of category ID doesn't really do us any good, so let's just use it to see how many categories we had. Extract values would allow you to take them out and make them into a text string. That's a little more advanced. I'm not going to go over that today, but that's what that would do. Create data type. Well, if you want to collapse your selected columns into a single data type, so product and category ID be my new data type. I'll say OK. Now that's taken my product and created a new data type up here. I can now choose which one I want to display. So I want product and category ID, take product off, just category ID, etc. You can combine them. It's kind of a filter. You combine them to show, and then you can choose which one you want to show with the expanded. So you've created your own data type. Got a little new icon up here. That's it for the structured column. Next time we'll move on to add column, and there's some even better stuff in here. So please join me. Column from examples is like flash fill on steroids. It's great. Please join me. And if you like this one, please like it and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.